Right, so I've just turned 30 and I am single, and I've always been single. Never had a partner, no one's ever asked me to be their girlfriend.
Liar!
And I shared some videos on this and it went viral because obviously there are so many people in the same position, because I was like, is anybody else like this? And then loads of people were like, me too. And it's so funny the questions that you get asked when you've been single your whole life or have been single for a really long time. Like, oh my God, you must be the problem. Why have you not had a boyfriend? Why have you not had a girlfriend? Blah, 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 blah.
And that's a fact.
A guy told me my standards are too high, so I'm gonna tell you my preferences as a man, and you can tell me if you think my standards are too high.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you here. Today we have an episode of women being quote-unquote single. Now, why do I say single in quotations? Well, if you don't know, please subscribe to the channel, because I presume this is the first time watching this type of content. If you already know, gentlemen, let's get started and let's get further proof of why I'm saying this.
Right, so I've just turned 30 and I am single, and I've always been single. Never had a partner, no one's ever asked me to be their girlfriend. And I shared some videos on this and it went viral because obviously there are so many people in the same position, because I was like, is anybody else like this? And then loads of people were like, me too. And it's so funny the questions that you get asked when you've been single your whole life or have been single for a really long time. Like, oh my God, you must be the problem. Why have you not had a boyfriend? Why have you not had a girlfriend? Blah, 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 blah. And I think we should sort some kind of group. Like, imagine the power of bringing all together the single people. Ladies, let me know if you want me to create a community of us single ladies. Let me know, because I've got some questions to ask you all. I need to share some experiences and I need some camaraderie to know that I'm not the only one experiencing this. What a nightmare. Also, maybe we can share horrendous dating stories, because I've got a million.
Wait, what? I don't even know how to act surprised anymore. What? You're telling me you've been on a million dates? But weren't you single and nobody ever has asked you to be in a relationship? So what's going on here? I mean, next thing, you're gonna tell me that you have a body count in the triple digits. I can't believe this, gentlemen. It turns out the quote-unquote single woman who quote-unquote is a virgin, quote-unquote never been in a relationship, turns out she's gone on a million dates, most of them nightmares, or all of them. Right? Why do we men care if you put this label of single when practically you're not? Like, I don't care. She says single because, oh, I've never been in a committed, serious relationship. That's why I say I'm single. Okay, but having your back blown and going on dates 3 times a week doesn't mean that you're single. For all we care about, it's the same. In fact, I would rather prefer you've had 20 boyfriends instead of 200 situationships, right? Like, this is a similar thing to some Christian women, quote-unquote Christian women, who want to keep the V card until they get in a marriage, right? And so what they do, because they want to 3 or 4 around, what they do is they do other S3 actual things in nature, but they are just not the V penetration, right? I have to play around words a little, but I think you get what I mean. So there are these Christian women. It's absolutely cringe. They say, oh, I'm a virgin. But then you realize that 40 men have went through her back door. You know what I mean, guys? And it's like, dude, why do I care that you're strictly following this, oh, I'm virgin, when in practice you are not, right? It's the same with these women. Oh, I've never been in a relationship. As if that's somehow a good thing, when you have to keep in mind that her body count is in triple digits, and all she's been doing for the last 20 years is being in situationships and jumping from one banana to another. Just absolutely disgusting.
Don't tell me you're innocent, because it insults my intelligence.
Here's my advice, gentlemen. If you don't know for a certain a woman, you don't know her for many years, and you go in on a first date or something, never believe the body count that they are telling you. Never believe them when they say that they are single or whatever, alright? It's straight up awkward, embarrassing to ask these women about their dating history. It's even more embarrassing than going to a feminist picnic and asking who brought in the sandwiches.
Have you ever wondered why some men choose Wonderbread women over you? And when I say say Wonderbread, I'm just talking about girls who are a bit more plain, a bit more basic, average. And you, on the other hand, are like a divine French croissant and you're confused. You're like, I don't get it. Why are you going for Wonderbread when I'm right here? There are 3 reasons why this happens, and I'm going to tell you exactly what they are. Starting with reason number 1, Wonderbread is cheaper, okay? You get a lot more value for basically half the price of a croissant. And even though some men might appreciate the way you look, they are going to choose Wonderbread because she doesn't require as much money or time to impress. Which brings me to reason number 2. Wonderbread will change herself for a man, a croissant will not, okay? Wonderbread will become a grilled cheese, an avocado toast, a PB&J, any day of the week depending on what he wants. A croissant, on the other hand, it's kind of like take it or leave it, as in you might not be as willing to compromise or change your lifestyle for a guy. And the third reason is Wonderbread is less maintenance, okay? Wonderbread, you break it apart, there are no crumbs. With a croissant, a lot of crumbs, and some guys honestly don't want to deal with it. But here's the thing, the people that like croissants love croissants, and they don't even look at Wonderbread. So don't try to change yourself, but instead embrace all of your flaky French layers because the right person is gonna adore them. Follow for more.
Yeah, guys, isn't it so convenient how these women somehow are never to blame for the fact that they are single? All this endless sea of single, pathetic women, they're never to blame. It always turns out they are diamonds among coal, they're croissants among Wonderbread, they are always the prize, always God's gift to the earth, yet they are single. Really convenient there. I won't even talk about this woman's bullcrap narrative, but let me just mention that this is how women make money nowadays. They buy one suit, they spend like $500 a month on their hair and another $500 a month on their makeup, and they go on TikTok and they act entitled. They act like they own the place. They act as if they are confident, even though they cry themselves to sleep at night. And that's what they do. And their advice is try to be as narcissistic as possible, to talk all the time about increasing standards and you are the prize, you are the queen, and that's it. And they make money out of it. Please buy my courses. And all the desperate women, absolutely pathetic and miserable, they pay for this, trying to fix their life because they are pathetic, and they give money to these women. And these women make a fortune out of it, out of selling lies to the people who are absolutely in need of some self-esteem. Really sad.
Pathetic.
A guy told me my standards are too high, so I'm gonna tell you my preference as a man, and you can tell me if you think my standards are too high. Alright, so the first thing is I would not feel comfortable with my boyfriend having many female friends. I would not forbid him from having them, but I would not like the idea of him hanging out with them alone. So I would expect him not to do that. Then I think it's important that he does stuff for me, like holding the door open or carrying my bags. Not like that he has to carry my purse or something like that, but if we go shopping together and we have to carry groceries or stuff like that, I'd want him to carry that for me. This is just the way I was raised. Because if I were a guy and I had a girlfriend, I would never make her carry anything heavy. Never. So I expect that from my boyfriend. The next thing is I expect my boyfriend to be affectionate. I don't really like guys who are not in touch with their emotions, so I really expect him to be affectionate and be sweet to me and stuff like that, because I am a very affectionate person and I do like to give a lot of affection, but I also like receiving a lot of affection. So if he is like someone who doesn't like holding hands or like hugging a lot, stuff like that, this would not work out. I'd expect my boyfriend to tell me I'm pretty, and I'd expect him to give me compliments and stuff like that. I expect him to give me reassurance without me having to ask. And I think this should be like a basic standard every girl has, because I mean, of course, if you're with someone, you should know that they like you, obviously, but you just like, this is what a significant other is also for, to give you reassurance. And if you're like me, if you're anything like me, the only reassurance I really need and value or like think is true is their reassurance. So I think reassurance from a significant other is very important, and I have many girlfriends whose boyfriends don't tell them that they're pretty, like even once a week. If they're strangers that come up.
I'm gonna cut the video short here because we get the idea. These standards are not high. In other words, literally every man on earth fulfills those standards and is willing to do so, right? Like, these are the most basic standards, and something doesn't add up, because if those are your real standards, then that must mean that every man on this planet who wants to be with you is dismissed by you, right? Because otherwise, why would you be single? So it's either you are dismissing all the guys because those are not your real standards and you're lying to us, or those are your real standards, but you don't meet those guys halfway. So you want them to not have a lot of female friends, yet you entertain multiple men on your socials. It's one of those two things, guys. When you think about it, all these women's narratives and stories, they just don't add up, right? I mean, a guy who says at least once a week that his girl is pretty, how many men do you know that are in committed relationships and they don't tell their wives or girlfriends once a week that they're pretty? Like, come on, this is some bullcrap, man. But I'll leave the video here, guys. What do you think? Did you enjoy it? What are your opinions about all of this? Leave me your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll be happy to see you next time. Have a good one.